Good morning, grade 10s. You guys give me green check marks in Blackboard just to make sure we are all here and that we are ready to go. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic long weekend. I know I did. Nice and relaxing. Hopefully you did some fun stuff with your families. Good. So I see some green check marks coming in here. So that's excellent. Just to let you guys know too, I went over the questions that you guys posted into Blackboard last lesson. And I put them actually into the lesson so you guys could see what the other rooms were chatting about. And fantastic. And we were sitting at our non-instructional day yesterday, and First Nations was actually a big theme throughout the day. And I loved thinking back and reflecting what we talked about last week, you guys, about what we were talking about as teachers yesterday. Because you guys are really the theme that kept coming to mind from what you guys generated, that last conversation, was around why don't we treat just everybody the same? Like, why is there this big difference? And hopefully, as the unit goes on, we'll see why we do deal with First Nations the way we do and the complicated relationship that we have. And I think today's topic is one of the reasons why. But I also think it's we have to honor their past, right? We have to understand where we are today. We have to realize what we did in the past. And we have to honor that. We have to understand it so that we can form a new relationship and a new culture around how we interact together as a population and come together. So one of the things that I want to look at today is residential schools. Remember too, also you guys, that as you're reading those novels that you guys came and picked up for me too, try to make those tie-ins. Are you seeing some of those social issues or themes that we talked about from last class within the text that you're reading within those stories? Try to bring that into everyday lessons as well, all right? But really, I want to look at today and look at residential schools and why. Why did Canada set up residential schools in the first place? Why did we even have them? Why are they part of our history? And I think that ties in very nicely to where we led our conversations last day as well. So here's our learning targets for today, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So I can identify the factors that contributed to the creation of residential schools. Okay. I can justify the more important causes why residential schools were created. So you guys are going to start, you're going to see that there's multiple reasons why, and you need to come up with what were the more important causes, and you need to justify that, explain why you think that. And I can make inferences when looking at historical texts. And inferences, remember you guys, is reading between the lines. So it may not say exactly why we're looking for a certain reason, but maybe through the author's viewpoint, you can infer. Okay, so you can read between the lines. All right, so those are our learning targets for today. So hopefully at the end of class, you can say, yep, to all of those. All right. And here's our agenda for today as well, you guys. We're going to do a little bit of an activator thinking with the checkerboard. And we've looked at this strategy before, so it shouldn't be anything new to you guys. We're going to acquire knowledge through getting inside the author's mindset and then applying our knowledge through a quick write. And we need to create some criteria around that quick write. And then we'll do a reflection based on the learning targets as well from today. All right. Now, in the assignment, ladies and gentlemen, why residential schools, I've put a checkerboard there. So if you can't get a good visual from the live classroom here, you guys, of the quotes, feel free to go into Moodle, get into the assignment, and I've put the checkerboard in there as well. But I want you to really think about the following, read through the quotes, give yourself some time to read through the quotes. Which ones really resonate with you or that you connect to? Maybe you see some of these quotes happening again, like I said, in the text that you're reading and the stories that you're reading. or just something from the past that you've already learned about residential schools, those sort of things. So feel free. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes individually to read through those quotes, make some notes or just whatever you guys think, and be ready to discuss though with a partner and then share out to the room. All right. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes to read through that. What are you resonating it with? What are you connecting with? Go ahead and finish that. Perfect. Hopefully you guys got a chance to read through those quotes. Maybe some of them resonated with you and some of them may not have. So what I'd like to do, just in partners, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes with your partner, okay, to talk about which quote resonated with you. Maybe just choose one or two, okay, and just exchange with your partner why. Why did it resonate with you? What connections can you make? All right, so let's just go nice and easy here, you guys. We'll just not even put up our hands. So we'll just go Alex and Anna, Anthony Avery, Bria Damon, Devin Haley, Jack Savannah, Shayna Sophia, and then Taylor, you and me can go together. All right. So let's take 5 minutes and chat about that. Just in a private chat, you guys. Okay. Go ahead and get started. Good job, you guys. Just finish up your thoughts. I see you guys still chatting there, and that's awesome. What I'm loving seeing within your conversations, you guys, is you are using those probing questions. What makes you say that? Why did you choose that one? What resonates with you within that quote? You guys are really trying to actually communicate with each other on a deeper level. So that's awesome. Thank you. That's good to see. I love that. So now what I'd like to do, you guys, just in the room chat is kind of just share what you guys were discussing with your partners. So just in the room chat, type out one thing that you found either for yourself or for your partner when you guys were discussing your quotes into the room chat and what you guys connected with or resonated with. All right. And that's awesome. Okay. So I will put up the room chat as well. So you can see. Okay. So let's take 2 minutes and type into the room chat as well, you guys. Awesome. You guys are making some really good points here. So remember last class, this is what's resonating with me from your guys' descriptions right now of what you're saying, what you guys talked about. Last class, a lot of you were, really questioning why. Like, why do First Nations communities have these privileges? Why is reconciliation happening, right? All those things. But now you can see and hopefully understand a little bit through, say, what you guys were saying, right? Like Avery, those degrading incidences that have happened, right, are now becoming generational, right? That it happened to grandparents, but they were taken away from their homes. They were taken away from their cultures. And now when they got back into their communities, they didn't know how to parent. They didn't know all those, the history behind their culture to help them, right? To help them grow up with their kids, and therefore their kids are affected. So it becomes a real generational thing that's been passed down, right? So same, Devin, as you were saying too about the alcoholism, right? Again, passed down through generation and generation. Okay. You guys are making some great connections as well, right? Awesome. Yeah, the one about the hair. I hoped you guys would make that connection, right? So the whole idea of them shaving their heads when they got there, just like the Jews were, right? Because they were viewed as dirty. They weren't viewed essentially as people, you guys. That's how colonization works. We're going to take over your culture and your land and make you become one of us. Okay? We're going to take your children because they realized for the adults of First Nations communities, it was too late. So we're going to take your children and stick them in a school and teach them how to become European, how to become white. Okay? That was the thinking around why residential schools was needed. And now presently, we're seeing the consequences of those, right? The social issues that are happening within First Nations communities, all those things, right? So that's really, really important, you guys. I'm glad you're making those connections as well to other cultures and other events that have happened in the world. Okay, that's amazing because history repeats itself, you guys. That's huge. Okay. Yeah. So Avery, great question. I wouldn't say there was a specific person. I think this was more of a mindset, right? It was more of a push by government at the time, not specifically one person like we saw with Hitler, right? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it was, the government was involved. Churches were involved. There was a lot of different moving parts that played into residential schools as well. And you'll get a little bit deeper into that as we go on. Yes, Alex, he was. All right. So I'm just going to bring up my PowerPoint here again, you guys. Now what I want to do is we're going to go into a little bit of looking at some historical documents, okay, around why residential schools were set up in Canada. I think we've gotten an idea why, but now we want to dig deeper into that idea and really think about it, okay? But as a class, before we do that, what I want to do is do a little setup activity, because how you're going to look at the documents that I let you guys look at is a little bit different. They're all primary sources, okay, which means they are original sources by original authors, okay? We're going to delve into those around the times of residential schools. But I want to get you into the mindset of looking to those documents from the author's mindset, okay? So what we're going to do is create this little scenario that I have up on my PowerPoint. And I want you to think about this, okay? And this is going to work on your inferencing skills as well. So you need to imagine that little Jimmy is sitting in a classroom, okay? And his behavior is absolutely identical. And he's got two teachers watching him, teacher A and teacher B. But that each teacher has offered different comments on his report card. So you can see that teacher A's comment was, Jimmy is a polite and attentive student, but he must finally learn to be more punctual in submitting his assignments. It's not just Jimmy's first class standing that may be lost if he persists in being late, but also his ability to succeed later in life. Teacher B sees the exact same behavior from Jimmy. And this is how teacher B puts on his report card. Jimmy is a thoughtful and imaginative individual, but it would help if he could manage his time more efficiently. Not only will this help Jimmy in school, but it is a useful life skill. Okay? Now, what I want to do is with a partner, I want you guys to find clues from the two comments and read in between the lines. What type of teachers are these? What type of teacher are A and B? Okay. Read in between the lines of their comments. Okay. What does it say about them? Okay. I know, Alex, now you're going to have to infer, right? So right now Alex, that's a great comment. pretty much sound exactly the same, just different words, right? Now you really need to delve in between the lines. Okay, think about it from a teacher's perspective. What are they thinking about? Remember who their audience is as well, right? This is on a report card. So it's going home to parents, okay? That's what I want you guys to discuss. Now, let's partner up and let's go same sort of partners here, okay? So let's go Alex and Anna again. Let's go Anthony and Avery, Bria and Devin, Haley and Jack, Mason and Savannah, Shayna, Sophia, and then Taylee. Now we can go together. Okay. All right. So let's put up 5 minutes on the clock, you guys, and let's just chat in private chat. What kind of teachers are A and B? Excellent work, you guys. Finish up your thoughts if you need to, all right? Because I still see some of you guys are still chatting there in Blackboard. Fantastic. You guys have some good inferring skills, okay? That's amazing. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to bring up the chat again. And I want you guys in the room chat to now, let's start with teacher A, okay? That first teacher. Give me one word, just one word, to describe that teacher. Go back if you need to and look at what you and your partner chatted about. What's one word that would describe teacher A? Alex, I'm going to assume that you think she's an English teacher. That's what I'm going to assume that. Interesting words. Okay, good, Alex. Thanks for the clarification. Very interesting words, ladies and gentlemen. And it's good because I can see from your guys' private chats that I was watching as well why you were coming up with those words. So you have justified to me and I think to your partners as well. And again, fantastic work on extrapolating and going deeper into your thinking, using that thinking language with your partner, right? You guys, that's great. What makes you say that? Give me an example. That's really interesting. Tell me more, right? Good. What about teacher B though? Give me one word to describe teacher B. Avery. Good. So Alex, you think there's for sure a different subject area there. Good. Excellent. Interactive, calm, casual. So you can see that you guys are extrapolating from those two comments, right? You're extrapolating what type of author those people are, right? Okay, just from the words that they use, the language that they use. Okay, that's really, really important when we start looking at, I'm just going to bring up my PowerPoint, you guys, to remind myself. When we start looking at now some primary documents, when we start looking at some original documents that are coming from that era of residential schools, what was the author thinking? Why would they use that language? What type of person is writing this? Who's writing this? And why, again, think of that big theme that we're talking about. Why are we setting up residential schools? What's the purpose? Okay. So that's where we're going now. So now I've given you that framework of getting into an author's mindset. Now you guys are actually going to look at some documents, some primary documents, because I don't think there's enough of us to look at the secondary ones, but we'll see. And then you're going to actually analyze a document, okay? And I'll give you a structure to help you do that, okay? So this is what you're going to do. I'm going to assign you a document to analyze, okay? And it's all set up in Moodle. All right, you guys, you'll see a great big long list, and I'll bring it up on my background here in a second. Then you're going to download the worksheet that's called Getting Inside the Author's Mindset, and that will help you delve into that specific document and really help you find the purpose of it, okay? Then what we're going to do is on the whiteboard from your document, just from your document, you're going to type out what you thought were the reasons residential schools were formed. Give me the proof. Okay. So that's really, really important. So this is what you guys are going to do. I'm going to bring up, and while you guys are analyzing, I'll get the whiteboard all set up and stuff. So I'm going to bring up the assignment here, you guys. So it's why residential schools. And if you scroll down, here we go. So it's step 2. Okay. So you're going to see, I think I've got about 15 documents here that are linked. All right. So we might not be able to get into all of them because there's not that many of us in class today, and that's totally fine. When we get back to, bye Mason, when we get back to working into our quick write, you guys might want to go back and delve into even more of the primary documents, okay? And take a look at them to really get an understanding, all right? This is just getting you guys started. So I'll just go from the top of the list of the participant box, you guys, and we'll just match up the documents, okay? So, excuse my screen, you guys, so I can actually see. So Alex, I want you to do the very first one. So a foundation in law, okay? You're going to be in charge of that one. Anna, you're going to be in charge of the 1876 annual report, so number 2. Anthony, you're going to be in charge of the educational sections of a treaty, so number 3. Avery, you're going to do the Davin report, so number 4. Bria, you are going to do the photographs of Thomas More. Devin, you are going to do the Indian Commissioner's report. Haley, you are going to do the principal's report on the Calgary Industrial School. Jack, you are going to do penmanship class. Savannah, you are going to do Aboriginal students and families. Sophia, you're going to do the Indian problem. And Haley, you're going to do residential school yearbook. Okay? So when you take a look at those, ladies and gentlemen, and they're all linked, so you should just be able to go to them. Okay? Get that up and going. Now, here's the worksheet that you need to download. Okay. So when you bring that up, you're going to see that there's different sections. Okay. So again, it's only a PDF, you guys. So either you can print it off or you can take notes if you need to. Okay. Because you aren't actually going to hand this in for me. So you can take notes if you want. All right. So you're thinking about the author, who wrote this, who took the pictures, those sort of things. Okay. So how does the author feel about the people, extents, and issues discussed in the documents? What are the beliefs about the world around them? What are the values? What are the personal qualities that this author has? Okay. And jot down the clues. What's the actual proof from the document? And then there's the inferences. Okay. So what can you draw out of that? What kind of conclusions can you come out of that? Just like we did with the teacher examples. Okay. Absolutely, Alex. I know some of it might sound like gibberish, but go back, reread it a couple of times. You betcha they did. They spoke and wrote very differently back then. They actually spoke proper English. So just be aware of that. Okay. You have to really dig deep, try to decipher that as much as you can. What you're really looking for is why. Why, from your document, why do you believe residential schools were set up? Okay? That's really what you're coming to that conclusion about. Okay? So, I'm going to give you guys, basically 15 minutes. Go through those documents, you guys, and I'm going to go back to my office and get the Blackboard set up for us to share out about each of our documents. All right. And then we'll do that. Then we'll discuss our actual assignment, our quick write, and I'll let you guys go for the day. Okay. So you have 15 minutes before we reconvene to talk about each of our documents. All right. Go ahead and get started, you guys.